Greetings, friends, and welcome to Enigma Night Gaming. My name is Liara, and I will be your guide in today's adventure. Today we are playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and we are starting Case 5, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Of course, Sherlock Holmes has to make an appearance in this case, right? Well, let's hop in and find out what this is all about, shall we? The Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare.
Coming. Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us.
Oh boy.
Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared.
Oh boy.
From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames.
Is it a ghost?
Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Oh boy. What are we gonna find out here? Let's go ahead and find out. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Sasaki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there's always a however. There then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. Alright, 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Knock, knock, knock. Who's at the door? Hello? That morning, oh, they fixed it up all nice. It looks so nice. I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susada-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susada-san?
Yes. Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today?
I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I?
Oh, no. Of course not. How silly of me.
But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food.
She does, doesn't she?
And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form.
She's very excited to get back on the job.
Let me see. What case is it today?
Here we go again. Oh boy. What about the telegram? So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean.
Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you were talking about.
Okay. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that.
Well, I didn't think I would.
Are you trying to stall?
Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram.
That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. So what's it about?
I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point.
All right, I understand. All right, I suppose Sasaki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he?
Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away.
A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well.
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
I was just wondering, what might have become of Sasaki-san had he stayed in London? That's all.
You mean as regards Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper?
Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. I don't know. Let's ask her thoughts on the Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Yeah, I remember that. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very first day we arrived in London.
Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery.
Yes, but at least Sasaki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means...
that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps?
Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding.
If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself.
Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding the sword against more acquitted defendants.
No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter.
Oh?
Yes, since Sasaki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems.
Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So, it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Ugh, just my luck.
I wonder if luck doesn't come into it.
Sorry? What was that?
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Suspicious? Alright, well maybe we move down to, let's go down to Sholmes' suite. We're at my lodgings and office located in the attic above the suite of rooms rented by Mr. Sholmes. I call it a consultancy, but clients aren't exactly beating down the door. With the furniture we've moved... Okay, so she's saying,
With the furniture we've moved in recently, this place is starting to feel like a real office.
it looks like a real office. Y'all have done a good job.
When you're ready, let's go downstairs for breakfast.
Yep, we're gonna go down to the home and office of the world-famous great detective and his young companion, Iris. People from all over the globe come to engage his consulting detective services. So, I don't know why they would want to consult with us over Sholmes, but sure. Maybe they just don't want someone crazy. Alright, 15th of April, Sholmes' suite. Morning, Bruno! Morning, Susie!
Good morning, Iris.
Someone's playing really bad violin or something? Iris? What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled.
Ah, yes, you noticed that, did you?
Yep, someone playing very terrible violin.
Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems.
Oh boy. Uh-oh, he looks upset. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Good morning? Uh-oh. A good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before... My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Oh, he's very depressed. This blanched existence. What is wrong with him? I'm very curious. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. Nothing of consequence at all, you say, huh?
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. He just can't even be bothered to talk. Oh, there's a cat around? Oh, it's a cute little kitty. Is that the cat from Sasaki-san's? Like, didn't we see this same cat in his little building? Oh, look, it's Wagahai.
Good morning, boy.
Oh, meow. Cute. That must be some sort of tiny cat door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast.
Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
Ugh. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Like, all his work? Where's his work? Like, it's completely missing? What's the matter with you? Dude. What's the matter? Cheer up. Buck up. You seem very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. That is like the understatement of the century. What's happened?
It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melosonant tones would make flowers bloom.
It would?
But now the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much, have you, Harley? Don't worry, I'm sure we'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin for me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? The missing machine. Oh, he's missing a machine over there? What machine was over there, I wonder?
Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today.
Ah, well done, Mr. Sato. Your observational skills do you credit.
Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibanks now.
Sorry? It's at a windy bank?
No, Windibanks, the pawnbrokery.
Oh.
What?
You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours?
It has some considerable value, you see, quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should gladly pass what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all to me. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? Alright, so tell us. I mean, we should, unless it's different from how it actually works, I'm curious. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokers are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to the pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious. So, whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windybanks, you see.
A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't.
Like his machine?
Don't you, Hurley?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. My guy, you've got to get back on your feet. What can we do? Is there something in here we can examine? What if we talk to her? Wait, actually, I'm very curious. What's up with these? The fire's burning comfortingly in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting.
Is that supposed to mean something to me? Okay. We got an achievement for that. We got this board over here. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes's past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from Le Carnaval would be on display here.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection.
It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves.
Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo.
No favoritism there at all. Absolutely none. Zilch, zero. Alright, we're set for tea. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion? Because we just looked. We're just looking at stuff. Anything over here? There's a pile of books and a globe. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it?
It just looks messy to me, like my desk.
But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself.
Again, the favoritism. Alright, what else we got? Can we look at the skull? No. What about this? Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually. He's just like completely random. All right, let's talk to Iris. We'll ask about the cat. Okay. Mr. Natsumi, I knew that's who the cat was. Okay, Mr. Natsumi's cat seems to have settled into his new home then.
Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy.
It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are as empty as the hearts of the muses.
If Mr. Natsumi had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed.
Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Oh, yes, he really is. Oh yeah, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention.
What is it?
I call it the cat flappomat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats?
That's right. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. So she spent like all this time inventing a device to make a cat door. I mean, okay. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap? That's exactly what I was thinking to say. Rather than making a machine to make the cat flap. I mean, but this way you could make more doors in the future, right?
Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Alright. She's very creative. Uh-oh, what's up with Waggy?
Oh, what was that?
Wagai? That doesn't sound good. He's getting into trouble? Sholmes is like not even caring. What was that?
Oh no! Waga is tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy.
No, what's he doing to it?
Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin.
Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Man, he is so down in the dumps.
Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he?
Indeed he is. Anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Let's see if we can find it, right? Let's look at it. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh man, and the cat's getting into it? That's not good. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me.
I happened upon it, covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley.
The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. I feel like that's pretty cheap. How honorable of you! And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every Pagani-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none. Oh, thanks for that following, Oragi? Alright. She has nothing to say.
Mr. Sholmes?
What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think?
Uh-oh. What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Has somebody robbed him? Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different.
And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before.
Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? He's gonna be re-inspired because it's not actually him making the mistakes?
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
Then what?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola.
What? Oh, what? What?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right?
You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of string flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then. Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Alright, so let's go talk to her. Alright, what's the mix-up? What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windibank's until last week.
At the pawnbroker's?
Not Mr. Sholmes's beloved musical partner. There is a proverb from the East in which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea!
I mean, okay. Last week, I pawned my great analogoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw, a fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time.
But earlier you told us that you could think of the pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault.
You certainly did. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, fussing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Windibank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Mr. Sato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg ever more obtusely? Alright, say no more. Let's go then. I mean, take the bacon with you, my guy.
Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. Alright. Do we need to say anything else to you? No. Alright, so we just go ahead and head on out. And see what's inside. There's a lot of stuff here. 15th of April, Windibank's Pawnbrokery. Who's running the shop? Let's see. So this is a British pawnbrokery.
Oh my! There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Ah, Susada-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this?
Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Oh boy. Well, let's see. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
What's he gonna say? I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, and an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. He's running, I shall have to take my own life. You're overreacting just a little bit, sir. Put the gun down. Please, sir. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? I mean, my dude. If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry. As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin, and I heard... Ah, there, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. He's like... However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, no, no! Stop, my dear fellow! The fault is mine! A bit of a drama queen, are you? Getting your point across? Phew. That was a bit dramatic.
It would appear that the fight is over.
I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sherlock Holmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needed to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past.
Peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an... I don't know how to pronounce that. Eponymous work. The novels of Sherlock Holmes or some such.
Why? A new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean?
Forgive me.
Wait, before you die, you must tell me more.
My guy. Seriously.
I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, Susanna-san is really fired up now.
Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windibank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Whoops. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I'm confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fees, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. I agree. Alright, let's ask about the pawnbrokery. I wonder, could I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the East, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the designs exotic, Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting.
Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items, offer them a proportionate loan, and 2 months of secure storage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
And then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right, which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windibank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such tragedy never occurs. Like, everyone is so dramatic today. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windibank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? Ha! What was that deep sigh about? It's like he doesn't like it, I guess. Let's see. Let's ask about it. Let's follow up on that. What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
Okay. Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Oh, that's definitely going to come in handy later. Here, I have an example I can show you. Okay. Okay, so at 4 a.m. we had all of this here. Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image, even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary.
Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look!
Oh boy. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed, unless he hid it between the 30-minute mark.
But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
She's about to catch on to it. Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur between times?
One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. Indeed. I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Surely they are anything but distressing? Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, eh, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security comes at a price. Oh, heaven help us. So I wonder if Herlock actually even pays anything, or if he's just like paying what he gets paid for the film. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, you look like it's been a pleasure indeed. Alright then.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last.
Oh boy. Alright, well, let's look around. There's some clocks over here. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Oh, okay, whoops. I thought that lit up. That's the one we're going to look at.
Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Oh my, yes. But I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while? What kind of music is it going to play? Oh, that's pretty.
Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. I like it. This particular specimen is of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Ah, science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
Indeedy, it does. Alright, anything else over here? Let's look at this.
What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh, yes, now you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Well, of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform. Never! It embodies my student spirit. Alright, what else we got? Anything over here? We've already talked to him. What's this? Oh, it's the desk. Okay.
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
Mr. Windibank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Why don't you mind explain the thing that catches my eye far bigger than the ledger? Yep. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you Mr. Windibank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
blow his brains out indeed in recompense for his blunder. My goodness, what a guy.
Oh my! But in any case, of course, we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
She's very disappointed in him. There's a skull over there. What's with the scales? There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. Okay, I see it. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing in particular of particular interest inside. Well, I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's something I tend to do. Or it's not something I tend to do. But there is but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder.
And the prime suspect of this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Is that going to be the case here? Let's see, anything else? I think we've explored everything over here. Let's look over here and see. Alright.
Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope? Fascinating.
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Okay. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Okay.
Alright then, I'm going to try it.
Let's see if she manages anything.
Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once.
Oh, right then. So I need to be cross-eyed like I'm trying to look at my own nose? Alright, what do we see? She's the... Wasn't she the juror in one of the cases? What the... I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Oh, I see, okay. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them.
Why are people meddling with such black magic?
She doesn't like it. It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. After you've had time to research it, perhaps?
Oh.
Alright. Let's see. We got that. Is there anything else? Let's just make sure, because I think that might be... Oh no, we got a couple more items. What is this? That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date? Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
Indeed. Alright. Can't look at the dolls. Alright, so what is this strange thing?
Look at this. Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Ah. There's a small catch here. Look.
We're going to open it, aren't we? Of course we are.
Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which we'll never manage to put back the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Is it a camera? What? Only a tuppence for it? That ain't fair, and you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Alright, what's going on here? Are we having a business transaction? Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Oh, you're familiar. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her. Yep, she was the case from the first case, right? The Mr. Guinness or whatever. Mr. McGilded, that's what it was.
Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago.
Indeed. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She is a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Indeed. And then she's shooting her gun all the time. Oh boy. Gordon Bennett, you lot! Are you gonna shoot us again?
Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well.
Eh, what? You remember me then, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel, sorry, coat, have ya? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Windibank on your behalf. Well, the other one, I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for ya. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. She's very stubborn. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone.
Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Susada-san can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Alright, can we talk to her? Let's see. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well, I am, alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on a dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines.
You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright then, I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose sometimes.
You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade?
Miss Lestrade is just like totally baffled by this exchange. But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Alright? Let's talk to him then. Alright, he should be, alright, let's talk to him and see what he might have to add to that. What about the disc?
Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface.
It looks like a music player disc, right? For the music box? Oh, yeah. Ah, this is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. Exactly what I just said. In a music box. Yeah, the one y'all were just playing a few minutes ago. Remember? What, you don't even know what a music box is? Tis you Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us what tune is on this disc.
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well... Who? Never you mind, it just ain't right, that's all. That disc's worth good money, I know it is. Oh, well, then you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? Alright, what do you have to say about Gina? She has been in here before, of course, this little tatterdemalion. What even is that, tatterdemalion? I see. And brought us some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, is there something dubious about the dish she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket? So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs storing. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight. But as she gave me the ticket for it, and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her.
But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winnebank.
The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. The scarf? Or, oh, it's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with it? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this?
The disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree on price. Alright. Let's see. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owned on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care as I'd understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went to rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... Uh-huh. What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady?
Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am. Aha!
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up! I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would.
Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me old man! It's me old man's, ain't it?
Is it Miss Lestrade?
Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Very, very, very suspicious. Out of my way, please. Who's this? Oh, it's a gentleman. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? He's like all dressed perfectly. Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh?
Oh, there is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor.
Is he gonna slap her with his stick?
And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you?
As well as a pickpocket? Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you? Broker. Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no?
Yes,
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh my!
Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs too.
No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was, now it's mine.
Goodness, Mr. Naruto. This is a very awkward situation.
Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Oh boy. Let's see what she has to say.
Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying.
What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now? No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these blacksome scoundrels. And now then, relinquish my overcoat. There. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? She looks scared. Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade returned actually belongs to this gentleman?
Of course. We need only consult Mr. Windibank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place.
Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh!
I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
Yes, I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it?
Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. Alright, well, you don't have a watchword there, so you're gonna give up the coat? So about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank. As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. As he looks at Sholmes. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it?
Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all.
Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? Well, then how did she get the coat? That's right, so yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid.
and I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on 15th February. With a watchword of Professor.
All perfectly correct information, sir.
But ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt.
Ugh. So, I'm very curious, like, why did he give the coat to her if she didn't have the watchword? Excuse me, but who are you?
One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Although clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here.
Ah yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place.
Are you dancing?
Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices.
You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about exactly? Why is he dancing?
Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another.
Of course, yes. I'm Ryanosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really.
My name is Sosada Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see.
And your name is?
My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict.
Okay.
Enchanté.
He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Just a little bit.
Now, to the matter at hand. My overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off.
Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him. Oh boy, and now he's in the overcoat. So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir.
With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back.
Oh boy. Tisk, this is why I hate grown-ups. Just 'cause I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar.
And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker.
But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Just this one. Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. This happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now.
Still, that gutterly, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
As who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. They're gonna stand at odds.
Very well. And then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute, that disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Oh my! Yes, there's blood on the disc.
It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. But he's wearing gloves. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again. So you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? Alright, so we've got the music box disc. It's the metal disc used to play music on a mechanical music box. The piece of music, which remains unidentified, is stored on the disc by means of small protrusions. You there in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He is lying. Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? We need more information. And we will get that in the next episode. So if you like this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. If you want to watch live, we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/LayR27. I have my schedule posted in the about and in the description. And if you want to see which games I'm playing each day, I post them on twitter.com/LayR27. And I hope you'll join me in the next one. Until then, guys, bye!